Hello and welcome to episode 20 of our Timberborn Update 6 Apocalypse Mode playthrough here in Cycle 14. Day 66, we have 35 and a half days left in our very, very long drought. And last time, we attempted to start doing a Badwater diversion expansion over here. Going to get this set all the way down to the same level as the bottom of this channel in the event that we have Badwater overflow and want to clean things out, because the current setup wasn't working very well. But, as you can see, we do have a problem, and that is we don't have enough explosives over here. And among many things that have gone horribly wrong in this playthrough, we are out of Badwater, essentially. It says we have 6, but that's not enough to make any more dynamite. And our pumps that we've been pumping with, because that's what you do with pumps, pretty much can't get any more Badwater out of this. They can technically, but it's pulled so much Badwater out of here that most of this is almost clean at this point. So let's hit pause, because we've got to strategize and get some stuff going here. This is part of the reason why I didn't do an episode of this series for a week. We have some Badwater here, so clearly it's going to be 35 days before we get any more Badwater than what is here right now. So we absolutely have to get over here and get some Badwater pumped. We can do that relatively easily by building a little pass through here, like currently exists. So let's go ahead and get that set up. Just put in a couple of ladders up here. Mark this blockage for demolishing, and this one as well, which is going to let us get back here and then continue making our way across all of this fun stuff like we always do. So yes, this is quite a lot of stuff that we maybe should have done a little bit earlier. But I digress. Just get this whole thing laid out, let them get to work. Obviously, we're going to have to reconnect with all of these paths and everything at some point, but before that becomes a thing, there's not too much else we can do. So, getting through here is going to give us access to all of this, and we do still have about half a tile high, maybe a little bit less, so call it 0.45, and it's going to be in our best interest to get this pumped out as much as we can. And we only have 20 metal blocks left at this exact point in time. We can keep making more, but that's something we're going to have to continue improving on as we keep going today. We'll talk a little bit more about that when the time comes. I'm not going to bother putting a medium tank in, because that's going to take gears that we don't currently have. But it's going to be in our best interest to get this set up no matter what. Anyhow, get that over to supply, and we're going to start using prioritization to make this happen, because this is the most important thing. If we can't get the dynamite in place, then not only are we not going to be able to get this taken care of before this fills up with water again, we have other things that we want to be demolishing and straightening out and all this other stuff too. So this is priority numero uno at this point in time. So we'll get that all situated. Just remove all of this, and I'll get at least one of these on that super high, very high priority as well. Get this situated. That should be everything they need to take care of that. We've got a thing of logs right here, which is great. Planks are not going to be too far away from here either, if I'm remembering correctly. We actually don't really have a lot of planks, but they are kind of right here, which is still closer than coming all the way over here to do the rest of this. So we're just going to kind of leave this as it is. It's not super important right now. I don't want to deprioritize it though, because it does still need to get done. But just so we're all on the same page with that. All right, and thank you to those of you who pointed out that we didn't have any scrap metal stored next to the smelters. We do have scrap metal over here, but that is not entirely super close. We have this large industrial pile of metal blocks here. So I think it would be worth the effort to go ahead and not necessarily put a giant one of these in here, but just a little one set to obtain. Those guys can take care of that just fine. And I think now we can go ahead and unpause, just because I wanted to get that put in place. But yeah, this is definitely something that's got to happen. So outside of that, things that I really want to make sure we address before we move on, we have another one of these underground ruins here that if we were going to commit to the long term of doing stuff, we want to make sure this is going to be preserved. So we have the option to go ahead and just fill this up with some levees nice and easily. So that will prevent this from flooding, because this bad water comes through here, this bad water comes through here. Again, quickest and easiest way to make this a thing is to just pop in one of those guys right there, which, of course, we still have 35 days to do it, so not really mission critical, but we want to make sure that we've started that process and acknowledge that that's the thing that's happening. Let's get this on triple speed. I'll get them working on this. They have finished over here our little, I guess, well, it was just a dam around the underground ruins here. We're not out of scrap metal yet, and it's possible we may not ever need this, but while we had the opportunity to do so, I figured it would be wise. So the next major building project that's happening here in District 7, which has yet to be renamed. You guys have a whole lot of name suggestions, but I think I'm going to wait a little bit to decide if we're actually going to rename it at this point, or what the new name might end up having to be on the poll. But we have all of this right here. Remember that we were going to put in to do some sort of a bad water diversion during bad tide, so we can have a nice reservoir here as well for this area. Even though we do have, you know, access to all of this, it's not really the ideal scenario. And also here, people weren't really understanding why I put these in. These aren't the permanent full-time pumps. These are here for the purpose of expeditiously getting water out of the reservoir. These are still here, but I just wanted to reduce the dependence on here so we could have additional farmland and all that stuff. Plus, these pumps are closer to these tanks, which are closer to the district crossing. So, in the event that we absolutely had to pump a whole bunch of stuff really quickly, this would be a much better way of doing it than just having all of this come out here. So, hopefully you can see and understand that. How are we looking here? Wow, okay, they're making great progress. Real quick stuff here. And how about that? See? There you go. That works out quite nicely. But like I was saying, District 7 here doesn't have a ton of logs, but it does have trees. And they are marked for cutting. So we're going to be able to get those guys going on that. I'm actually surprised that I don't have a... don't seem to have a lumberjack flag over here, so let's go ahead and take care of that. I guess probably makes sense to put this guy just right here where it's not going to be able to grow trees in that spot. We did want to plant some more crops over here, but currently this district seems to be doing kind of okay. Obviously we want to be running the engine, but it doesn't have any logs, so that needs to be prioritized. All this stuff, you know? Again, we got ourselves really in too far deep on a lot of things in this series, so please do understand that I'm trying to get that fixed. But, you know, one step at a time. Deep bad water pump here shouldn't be taking too much longer, except the gears are proving to be a little bit of a challenge. But if we can just get a little bit more bad water, then we'll be able to get the rest of this stuff taken care of, which is going to be super nice as we continue pumping water out of here to keep our water tanks full, which, yes, we do need to continue building more of those. It's not quite there yet. We need to think about soon getting this industrial area just completely replaced, because this capacity is not sufficient. But seeing how we have all of these extra beavers not working right now, I am going to go ahead and unpause these gear workshops, because we do have a decent quantity of planks. Just need to be able to take care of the rest of all of this stuff. And a number of you have been asking for quite some time about bad water discharges. And yes, the primary reason we have not built it is because we don't have the materials. So we need to make sure that we're going to get to a point where that's going to be viable, because the droughts are only going to get longer from here. And if we're going to survive a 100-day drought, we're going to need to have access not only to the bad water itself for the purposes of making extract and all this other stuff we're trying to do, but also for power generation. So we have the science now, thanks to the number cruncher that is, well, currently paused, so we could use the power for other stuff. But I am going to go ahead and unlock the bad water discharge, and I'm going to put one right here. We can't currently get down here to build it yet, so that is going to require that we come over and give them a little bit of an access panel here. So if I were to do that, just nice and simply there, that'll give them access to start building this. I know this district does not currently have enough output of, well, really much of anything in terms of industrial whatever, but this will be a thing. This will be a thing that we'll go ahead and try to focus on. Again, production of stuff has to improve, but if you don't start, you'll never finish. Speaking of starting and finishing, this deep bad water pump is done, and we are getting bad water. So that's nice progress being made there. Also, you know, it's generally just a good idea to have access to this area anyway. It's most likely going to be flooded as soon as we have any, well, any water or bad water come through at the end of this drought. So probably going to have to abandon this, and we might have to put in some dams here to make sure this doesn't come back through this side. We'll see how it fills up. If it ends up being a problem, then we'll dam it up. But that is going to take time. This large tank to expand our water storage currently needs more gears, but we did just turn those back on, so that should be, hopefully, something that's going to be much to our benefit very, very soon. And you can see they're already very, very slowly getting pieces in here. Very, very slowly. We're making metal blocks again, which is good. So this seems to be a worthwhile thing. Very good. They're making additional explosives as well, but that, of course, is going to take time. And yeah, they're getting these things put in place. At some point, hopefully soon this will be done, and we'll be able to move on past that. Alright, continuing down the list of things you guys asked for in the last episode's comments. This sluice needed to have that taken off, so now this will no longer close above downstream depth. This can finally be removed and replaced with a sluice like we should have a long time ago, now that this is no longer a mission-critical thing here. Just get this down to the exact level of the water source. And there you go. So this will become a sluice as well. That will need to just be set to close above contamination. I'll just say 1%. 0% seems to be a bad choice because it just ends up being, you know, vanishingly close to a 0%, but never quite 0%, so it never opens. And then, of course, you can't close below 0% contamination because, as you guys have pointed out, negative percentage of contamination does not exist. So this one here is going to be just fine at 1% as well, which does mean that this is going to have to go away because now this is here, and we need to make sure that we can, you know, keep this nice and organized as well. So give us a little bit more in the way of materials. Make sure this is all set up nicely. And yeah, I think the best way to solve this is going to be to put in some platforms, and then on top of these, we'll just put in levees. And by that, I mean, I guess this is fine, because I don't need to spend the extra resources to dam that up. I just need to have this completely blocked off. And actually, you know what? If we're going to swap that over there, then this can become building materials again. And they can just come grab all those, and then this will end up being a nice little repository for some nice clean water. Moving right along. Yeah, you can see very quickly how this is shaping up. The gears are going to be a problem, but we'll fix it. We'll fix it. Don't worry. All right, Game Face Za cutting some trees down for us. Very, very crucial work. This is now out of the water, so that's going to get paused. At some point, we probably need to have these automated individually with, what are these things called? The stream gauges. Because as soon as this reaches the level where this will no longer be, you know, enough to get this thing wet, then that needs to be turned off. But for right now, that can be manual. Nothing really wrong with that. Continuing to get our scrap metal. Now we're finally feeding the engine again, which, until we get more flow through here, this can really only run the smelter and this food factory. Which currently, we might as well just keep that running. But it's going to be very, very nice if we can just get some bad water coming through here at all times, which is, of course, what this is about. All right, the next thing we got to take care of is we need to make sure that this is going to be good to go. Now, our total flow through our mess here, let's just go real quick to check this into dev mode. Oh, yeah, that's hardly anything. That's 0.75 times 4. Yeah, forget it. But we'll get this taken care of. And now that we have dynamite, we can actually blast out a little side diversion thing here. I don't think it's going to be enough to be a problem with a single, so I'll save the extract and just say, you know what, that's going to go out that way. The water, of course, does not backflow over the top of water sources, so this little diversion channel is necessary for that to be a thing. But once this is taken care of, then of course we will come back here and put this in place. It'll give us a nice reservoir for some clean water that we can pump out of without having to take from the main reservoir here. Because it's much more beneficial for these crops if this could stay a little bit higher. And we don't want to pump any more than we have to when we have to. Because right now we got 22,000 water, and you know, that's fine. That's good. But District 7 really, really needs to have its own water storage, its own water pumping to be independent so we don't have to keep trading. So, how are we, oh. Well, that's all the, that's all the bad water. So I hope, I'm going to keep this paused for a second. I hope I have enough. Hope I have enough to get this done because we're not getting any more. Well, yeah, we're going to need to probably change some of this stuff. I guess the stuff up here we don't really need because that's going to be all the way down. The main thing I wanted to do was make it so that this would have enough depth to it, which I think this bit right here probably is fine with. That's disappointing though that we're already out of bad water over here. It's just a tiny bit left in that spot. Well, we did what we could. We did what we could. There's basically, oh, this was at 99%. Yeah, there's no reason to keep those turned on anymore, so I guess that's a thing. Bad water hopefully is not going anywhere else. I know this one can still technically pump because there is a little bit of pollution here. But, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, it looks like this will be our last piece of dynamite that gets built for quite some time. So that brings an interesting question up. Obviously, they haven't built this yet because we don't have the dynamite over here. These are completely done for. So those can be paused. There we go. How many extra beavers do I have? Okay, I have no extra beavers here. All right, well, that's not really a surprise. Yeah, all right, well, they're going to take care of that, as one does. This is waiting on metal blocks, which I guess have been a thing that we've been attempting to take care of. That's fine. We'll be all right. Not to the end of the world. That's a shame. I really thought that was going to be an absolute winner of a thing to do, and then it just evaporated anyway. Well. Yeah, I think... I know I talked about removing this before, but I kind of want to just leave this here for a little bit. Until we're absolutely sure. Oh, wait. They're actually bringing the dynamite over here. Okay. Well... As long as it can get through here and there's some sort of channel for it to go away, I don't think I need to be worried with how wide it is. I just need... Because it can't go back through the sluice. I just need there to be an exit for some amount of water to go away through here. So, what I'm going to do... I mean, this is already... That's fine. That's fine. As long as it can fold out, it's probably okay. This can't get detonated unless... or detonated by me detonating these as well. But I know for sure, this right here needs to go. So, that is now the correct level. This here needs to go. But if this is going to fold in here anyway, then I don't need this, and I'm not going to need this, because it's not going to be an issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reclaim this dynamite. Just get that, and then get all of this. Nothing says we can't add it later, but I'm very, very much interested in making sure this actually works for what we are trying to do, rather than anything else. So, I want to have 3 sluices wide at the bottom here, and we do still have to blast this out. Yeah, they're not really, oh, they're taking it all the way back to the storage that's down here, because I don't have any storage over here, isn't it? No, I have a storage here, so what are they doing with that? Is it because I have this set as a supply, so they have to take it all the way back over here? That seems like exactly something I would do. Yep, okay. Well, that solves that problem. Yeah, so that's going to come over here. This needs to go away. That needs to go away. That's a double that I have to also detonate again. Yeah, we'll let them figure this out. But for sure, this can go away. And so can that. And now this is a complete, from this level all the way out, complete drain, so we can replace that. Give them a little bit of time to think about their life choices over there. Let's come back and check progress on this. Alright, moving at the speed of smell, as one does. Again, taking a look at how this is faring log-wise. Wow, we've got a lot of planks in this district. That's actually good, because I need the planks to make all this nonsense. So if we were to do that, I'll just unpause that. And then I will, for the sake of... Actually, no, you know what? No, we're at a 50% item loss, and I'm not really in a hurry, so I'm just going to leave this in place. I was going to say, oh, I'll just make a bridge that I don't need to build, so I can speed this up. But we got 25 days. They're not going to have a problem finishing this in 25 days. No, not at all. So, well, actually, this floodgate here probably is fine, but I guess I could just replace it with a sluice. Probably. Well, we're not going to be there for a while, so I'll just leave that paused. We'll take care of that. We'll let them do what they got to do here and move right along. Yeah, so the food situation here is not perilous, but I think we might need to take a look at stuff anyway. We have plenty of corn. We do have plenty of the processed corn. That's fine. Eggplants, though, we haven't been doing well enough with that, and that's because we don't have any canola oil. We don't have canola oil because we don't have canola. Well, we don't have enough canola. We need to be planting more of that. So, given the amount of corn that we have here that is pretty unnecessary, I think it's going to behoove us to unplant some of this corn and turn it into canola oil. Like, look at all this. Look at all this. That's so much corn. So I'm just going to say this bit here can get turned into canola. And cassava still seems to be having some problem keeping up, but it'll be alright eventually. Not really going to be worried about it. Water storage is almost full. We are continuing to make additional gears. We have plenty of planks. Wood is strong here. Alright, this is ready. Yeah, this has to go down a double. So this is why I did this. This is why I did this, because I have to get these taken care of no matter what. This here, I don't think is going to be a problem because everything's wide enough. So I'm going to remove these for the time being so they can come and get that. This definitely still needs to be blasted out. And then that's going to give us another 2 again. And there we go. This, for sure, can go ahead and get removed, because this also needs to be blasted out, but this is going to need a 3. So this is why you research this, because when you have limited dynamite, you can just fill in the gaps with the extract. It's always a good way to go about it. What do we got here? We've got extract on the ground. We've got extract on the ground. I hope we have enough dynamite to take care, at the very least, to take care of this one and this one. I just need 2 more. Okay, well, I guess they're putting that there, but that's fine. We got some time to figure it out. How are we looking over here? Still moving incredibly slowly here. That's all right. That's all right. We're making it work. Progress is being... Aha! No, no, no. We gotta pause this. They're putting the explosives in this. Okay, we don't need the explosive to be used for this. I know we need to have the discharge in place, but until I'm finished building with explosives over there, we're going to keep this paused. That's going to be a problem. Alright, so that's looking good here. Good. That's what I wanted. Sluice gate goes here. This needs to be set to close below contamination, 1%. Uncheck that, and that hopefully should be fine. I'm not going to set this off yet until I'm absolutely sure that this is going to be blasted appropriately. I'm going to... Oh, nope, they're still doing that. I guess I can have them build this because, we have 23 days. That's going to be totally fine. Yeah, get that situated because I need to blast this out, but we're not quite there yet. So if we're see, I don't know. I don't know about taking this out. I'm so nervous. Like, there's no reason not to. There's no reason not to do it. I have like this pathological fear of making a stupid mistake that's going to completely destroy everything. So we'll see how that goes. What do we got over here? Regular logs. Oh, this doesn't need to have anybody in here. No. No, these trees can't grow anyway. Everything's dead. So, that's fine. I'm glad we're catching some of this stuff now. Alright, so the only reason they're coming over onto this thing in the first place is to build this stuff. So I guess I could just let them finish it. Again, we have plenty of time. There's no real alarm bells occurring for most of this stuff. Just continue planting canola as we can. There's a lot of eggplants unharvested because we do not have enough canola to get the eggplant rations actually produced. Do we even have storage for raw eggplant? I feel like we don't. Yeah, that's just in farms, which ideally should be more than enough if we had enough canola oil, which clearly is not the case. Now, I've got these fermenters for soybeans. This one's for soybeans, that's for cassava. There is a little bit of oil here. We're just, looks like we're just about finished with this. I don't know why it's not going. I guess the beaver working there isn't in. Yeah, but we want to make sure we're gradually increasing all of this stuff. One piece at a time. Got 12 beavers doing nothing. Which one would think would be a bad thing, but I think for right now is probably okay. Or at least it's not something we need to be that concerned about. Yeah, I need to decide, maybe not like right now, but I need to decide pretty soon about what I'm doing with this stuff. I think it's probably fine. Again, this is just emergency overflow in the event that I have made tragic mistakes over here, which is entirely possible. So, insurance is fine. It's always nice to have some sort of assurance that you're not going to be completely screwed if you make another mistake with something. Yes, we'll come back and check on that later. How are things doing in District 7? Okay, about what I thought. This is progressing, which is nice. Oh, well, they're not going to be able to build anything if I have that paused. So that would definitely explain what's happening there. That's no longer... Okay, so what's actually paused here? That levy. Okay. I don't know why I paused those two specifically. I guess that was a... I don't know. At some point I had figured out what that was supposed to be. Alright. Again, like I said, once we're finished with this, I am going to turn on the bad water discharge again. Even if we're not going to have the explosives, we want to make sure we have all of this in place, or as much of it in place as we can before the drought is over, because, of course, we're going to get some nasty stuff coming out of that just as soon as that's a thing. Alright, so that's taken care of. Let's go ahead and remove this. And get this set with the triple dynamite. Of course that went to an inaccessible space. Of course it did. What a cruel game. Ah! I swear. God, come on, seriously? There. Now I gotta get rid of all this. Alright, blast away. There we go. There we go. Let me just get all this taken care of there. And this should synchronize. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be good to go. All right. So, in these pieces of dynamite that we currently have, we have 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 pieces of dynamite. I don't need to detonate all of these at this exact moment, but is 8 pieces of dynamite collectively going to matter anywhere else on the map before I commit to doing something with it? Obviously, 8 pieces here wouldn't really do a whole lot because that's only going to get to 14 out of 50, but that is 8 pieces closer than we would be otherwise. I think it's going to be more important for us to get these 3 taken care of. So I am going to end up removing some of that stuff just so we can have this in place for something, if nothing else, to get a little bit of that bad water moved out of the way. So I think that's probably going to be our most prudent usage of those, and that will be a thing when the time comes. But since we don't have any more bad water, I got 3 here. I got 1 here. I can't even just pause one of these and move the other bad water over because I'm not going to be able to make a single additional explosive. But, you know, since we can't do anything with this, we might as well just go ahead and pause them. That's fine there. And looks like we've got some more space to put in canola. So let's go ahead and do that. Every little bit counts. Food's up to 4,000. 3,500 in this district, which is totally fine. And yeah, I have so many beavers who don't have a job that I'm not even going to worry about pausing these pumps. We're just going to continue pumping as much as we can. Metal-wise, you know what? I've actually got enough to put in additional storage tanks. Which, I wonder if I should do that here. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. I've just committed to having extremely large quantities of water storage, which I don't think anyone can find fault in. Hopefully not. Just go ahead and get this set for water. Every little bit we have stored before the next drought is one step closer to victory. If victory is a thing that even exists in apocalypse mode. I guess we could just call that surviving. But yeah, again, not going to worry about building a mine here until we actually need it. There's so much scrap metal all over the map. This is just one of those things that I figured we probably should have before we get too much further. In fact, you know what? We don't need to have these pumps here anymore. There's no reason to keep those. So we'll just go ahead and get rid of that. We can get rid of that bad water thing, that bad water thing, that bad water thing, because now our bad water pumping is occurring over here. And I have a little tank there. We're probably going to want a bigger one at some point, but I'm not going to use those resources on that right now. Because ideally, there's never any bad water in here again. We don't have to worry about it. And then this is also finished, which everyone can be happy with. This is almost done, so that's looking good. Yeah, in the interest of what we have going on, I'm going to go ahead and just remove these dynamite pieces, which I guess they can technically get to if they go all the way around. And I don't think we want to mess with that necessarily. But yeah, the explosives, definitely important to get over here. I say as I fumble the keyboard controls. Shouldn't be too much longer before that's a thing. I don't think there's any other application in which I can use dynamite that is unpaused. Yeah, so that's fine right there. No real complaints otherwise. This is about to be dry, which is unfortunate. But you know, that's the whole purpose of a reservoir, is to have it and use it. And I've got extra storage here, so you know these guys are pumping like their lives depend on it. Because I guess technically they do. I am going to, at some point, maybe not today, but at some point finish building these pumps because they will be very useful when the reservoir is full. When it's not full, then that's fine. They can get shut off. Alright, so this is finished. This is now reconnected. And I have to decide if I'm actually going to blast this out or if I just want to fill it back up. I think the 2 sluices honestly should be plenty. But But you know how I am. You know, I want to, if I have the opportunity, I want to idiot-proof it because, well, you can fill in the blanks. This log storage can probably get moved somewhere else. I feel like this is going to be a very, very long trek for kind of no reason. Keep that in the back of our mind as something to enhance and fix later. Yeah, see, we just don't have enough canola. A problem for the ages. Meanwhile, we have an absolutely ridiculous quantity of corn. I think we're probably at the point now where, I don't know why the berry amount keeps going down. We've gone through 100 since I started this episode 36 minutes ago. Like, they should only be used to go in the breeding pod. We're not actually eating them. We shouldn't be eating them. There's really no reason for it. You know, keep an eye on that, I suppose. How are we looking over here? Still very slow. I guess they're working on this, which is... Well, it's fine. It needs to get done. No reason not to do it. What I would like to avoid is having silly billies here. So, it looks like they're going to finish that levee. And I will just go ahead and pause this staircase. I guess that's okay. Because I'd rather have them build, you know, part of this rather than nothing. Plus that prevents anybody from getting stuck there. Okay, let's check in on the situation here. Still waiting on metal blocks. Wow, okay. Well, we'll get there. I think the builders are just working on the other stuff that I've got priority over, but I think it's important now for this to become priority because it is going to be a problem if this is not ready to go when we have the wet season come back. We've got 16 days. Plenty of time to build this little stuff here. That shouldn't be any problem. And yeah, that's fine there. It's just going to send all the bad water away. This, again, is set to close below contamination, so no issues there. This is set to close above contamination, 1%. No issues there. Hopefully there's no splashing would be ideal. If I were a little bit more paranoid, I'd say I should just fill this bottom in so we don't have any bad water collect there. But I'm going to call that a luxury project if they get the rest of this taken care of. Don't really need to be using too many of our resources to take care of that. Everything else looking pretty okay. Looking pretty okay. Progress being made here is nice. It's a shame about this. I really thought this was going to be a smart thing to do. We also... Ooh, you know what? I guess it's probably not as big of an issue now, but if we finish other stuff, I do want to have them come up over here, but I just feel like it's... Well, I guess this is technically done anyway. So maybe we should. Maybe we should. We'll come back to that in due time. Let them work on this. We do still have a couple days, which is fine. This bit over here is going to take... Yeah, let's see. We got 10. We got 11 levies, which is going to be, I don't know, 132. So that is probably enough to warrant a closer wood storage, but we'd also have to build a bunch of ladders and stuff to get over here. I don't know. We're not currently in a tremendous need to have this available, but it does us no harm to just have this in place for whenever we can eventually get to it. Again, plenty of scrap metal available. If we really felt fancy, we could, I don't know if it still works or not, but there was a geothermal power plant mod that we used in, I think, update 3? Update 3, maybe update 4, but I want to say update 3, that had the thing you could put on top of this, and it would generate a lot of geothermal energy. Not nuclear power, even though that's what a bunch of people called it. It's just geothermal power plant was the mod name. But I think that might be kind of a fun thing to dig up. I don't know. I haven't looked for it, so don't quote me on that. But, you know, just keep options open. Do what we got to do. All right. Did they finish this yet? Okay, they're close. They're getting there. Just need to have that put in place, so that's looking okay. Did they grab the dynamite off of this? Yes, they did. So I actually do have 8 dynamite stored. That's good. that makes me feel a whole lot better, because I only need 3. I only need 3 here. Water-wise, we're looking good. I've got gears, I've got planks, and I do have metal to keep building additional tanks. So, you know, there's no reason not to. No reason not to build another one. You can never be too prepared. Just get that going as best as we can. And then I guess think about putting some more stuff over here so we can take care of other things. And I do see you, those of you in the comments who want me to move downriver. When we need to, we probably will. As of right now, though, I don't think that's a super pressing need. More important thing for us to do, I think, is going to be moving industry upstairs. Which is part of the reason why I did want to get this kind of thing taken care of with the bad water discharges and all of that. Because then we'll have much, much better power. And we can do kind of the same thing in here as well. Let's not forget we have the large water wheels we haven't even bothered researching yet. If we can get a little bit of a better handle on how the bad water is flowing through here, then we can come over and we can actually get a decent power supply thing set up. If you remember from the Water Beaver playthrough, this little slot here, although it's slightly different in this version of the map, we expanded that, we put in a couple of these water wheels here, and it actually ended up being really good. But I'd rather not blast that out this close to the colony if we can help it. Because remember, power is going to be generated no matter where it is. If it's a wheel and we could just have straight power shafts or whatever connecting everything, it's probably going to make more sense to try and put something like that over here. But again, that's going to be a long-term thing. And we currently have enough wood to justify using engines and building some other stuff. So again, stuff to keep an eye out for as we continue to move into cycle 15 next episode. Think about moving our industrial stuff. Right now, again, it's fine. But I do think that should be a theme starting soon. And again, likely next episode, start get more industrial stuff up here. Because let's be honest, this isn't going to cut it. This isn't going to cut it long term. The food stuff is probably fine to stay down here, but we're going to have more than 2 of these industrial lumber mills and more than 3 of these gear workshops if we want to get into the later game stuff, especially bots. That's going to require a lot of stuff. So we got scavengers that can't scavenge anymore because there's nothing in range. So it's going to be about time for us to continue moving out this way with stuff. And I think probably all I've got to do is just put in a couple of these guys a little bit closer. That should reach everything that's reachable. Yeah, I'll just put in 3 of those there. Get that situated. And wait, is this the now why did I do that? Why did I do that? That doesn't make any sense. Let's see, these guys, oh, these guys are paused, but they also can't really reach anything else. No real way to get over here. So I guess what we'll need to do is just continue that. Again, we have so many beavers who aren't working that it's not going to be any detriment to the population whatsoever to just have them take care of all this stuff. Just get that connected. I know I could put a staircase there, but I'm going to choose not to worry about it. Let's get rid of these scavenger flags here and this guy as well that can't reach anything. That solves that problem. All right, we've got 11.7 days. How are we looking over here? Predictably, not that great. Not super great. But this is done. That's huge. That's actually really beneficial. And the water continues to go away because we're pumping it, which, you know, is always allowed. Totally fine. Yeah, we've got, well, okay, 26,670. Not too shabby. I have enough gears, especially those seem to be the sticking point. Got enough gears to build another tank. So guess what? We're going to put another one in. We're just going to keep on doing it. Just going to keep doing it. They've already allocated those. Look at that. Look how beautiful. Just going to get it taken care of. That's what our beavers do. So, now that we've established this is the thing. We've got our 8 dynamite. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say, let's get these guys to finish this bit here so I can get that blasted out. I think this should be enough to offset the almighty 3 CMS worth of water here. I think it's going to be fine. But just in case, I might want to blast this down to be 2 blocks deep. I don't think it's going to be a huge deal, but never hurts to be prepared. Never, ever, 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 ever hurts to be prepared. These guys continuing. We've got plenty of trees. No issues whatsoever. All right. So you know what? We have 10 days left. We don't need to put off what we could do right now and just get it over with. Let's start moving industry up here, because I know it's going to be a thing, so we might as well get it done now, since most of the rest of the stuff is taken care of just fine. So, industrial lumber mills, we currently have 2. I think long term we're going to want to be able to support probably 5 or 6, I would imagine. So that's going to be, if we just say 6 for the sake of math, that is 350 HP. No, that's not 350 HP, it's 450 HP. So that is an engine and then some. And these are one... See, this is why I hate math. Five of these. 5 of these is very close to 1 engine capacity, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Just get this whole thing situated how we want it to be situated. Should I leave space for storage on this side? I probably should. We just hit pause so I can kind of draw this out. I got 3 of these here. I've got 3 more of these here, so that's 6. I'm not going to have room to get past this on the other side, which is honestly probably fine. But there's also no rule that says I have to stick with this path. We can just move this over. So if we did that, now that gives us a little bit extra space. This campfire does not need to be here and probably will move. In fact, it is going to move. Let's just get rid of it. So if I do that, then I have this space here. Leave that for a path. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these. Then we'll match it with 6 of these. Should be totally fine. Remember our production rates. 1 plank is consumed every 3 hours. 1 plank is produced every 2/3 of 1 hour. So 6 of these and 6 of these are not going to have any chance of causing production bottlenecks on behalf of the planks. And I don't really want to figure out the math. So we're just going to leave that like that. What this allows us to do is on the end here, I can put an engine, just like this, which will provide 400 HP. Each of these gear workshops consume 120, and we have 6 of them, so that's 240, 480, and then 720 for all of this. So this will require almost 2 engines. These will require 1 engine and then a little bit. So 3 engines should be just about right. Just about right. I'm not going to say perfect, but just about right. So we put that in place there, and that should get us pretty stinking close. So what I'm going to do now that I have this layout figured out, I'm going to remove all of these with the exception of the engines. So the engines get built first. You can just use the priority things. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Don't tell me it does. I'm going to do one of those, and we're going to do one of those. Then we're going to do one of those. Then we're going to do one of those. That is in the wrong direction. Good job, me. So there you go. We'll just alternate this so one gets built at a time for each one of those, and nothing bad happens. All right, so that's going to get us taken care of for most of that stuff. And now it's time for industrial piles. So we can fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these. As a reminder, these do consume logs. So these on the end here, I'm going to say 3 of these can be for logs, and then we can have 3 of these for planks. And then, of course, the gears do not go in the piles. They go in the large warehouses. So we take, hello lag, we take our space here, figure out how we want this to be set up. I don't think it's really going to matter. If I just did one of these here, that should be totally fine. Just for gears. We're not going to need 1,200 gears, but I'd much rather just have this take up that little amount of space. We can use stuff for everything else. So that should take care of wood processing nice and easily. It's not far from the housing. There's plenty of water right here, and food storage is right there as well. And that's going to free up space for food processing here. So, all of that being said, let's go ahead and unpause. Let them take care of that. Yes, these take 20 metal blocks apiece, and they take 25 gears apiece. So we are going to be lagging behind a little bit on the gears. But I think it's going to be okay. Just got to make whatever happens happen. Still working on this. So I guess that's going to be a thing that could take a little bit of time. If we need to, we do have some some planks over here we can get brought over. But before they get too excited on that, I am going to go ahead and say our 8 explosives are going to be enough. Just detonate this. Triple speed, I guess, is fine. And then we'll get this sluice in place, super prioritized. Then the levees on top of it will be slightly prioritized. I'm going to have to reprioritize this. So yeah, they'll take care of that, and then our diversion will be totally complete. No issues whatsoever. We've already established that this is deep enough, assuming nothing goes horribly wrong, that it'll be totally fine. I know there are a bunch of you that want me to put the pressurized stuff on top. Maybe. Maybe in the future, when I can justify the resources, but right now it's mostly fine enough for me not to really worry about it. Alright, so where does that leave us? We've got 2,400 plus worth of empty storage here. Wow, they're building these engines pretty quick. I did not think that was going to be that fast of a thing. But yeah, I really want them to finish this so I can put this dynamite in place so we can be reasonably assured that that's going to be okay. And then I will get this bad water discharge started again. I know the gears are going to be an issue for a little bit of time, but if they can get this going within the next couple of days, then we will have additional gears to bring over to that other area, and everything should be looking pretty good. Yeah. Not too bad for a return episode after all of the nonsense and uncertainty of the past couple of episodes. I think taking some time away from this one was very, very beneficial. So I appreciate you holding out, exercising your patience as I cleansed my mind of the brain rot that this series has imparted upon it and got a little bit of fresh perspective on some other stuff. You know, sometimes that's just really helpful. In life, you get overwhelmed with something, just if you can, just take a step back and go do something else, and then come back to it, renewed, rejuvenated, and ready to tackle the challenge again. Obviously, not everything you can get away with doing this. Some stuff you just have to say, well, you got to do it. But fortunately for me here, you know, playing the beaver game is one of those things I can just say, you know what, let's take some time off and go do something else. It looks like we've got lumber mill ready to go. We are about to have a gear workshop ready to go, and we have all these unemployed beavers that are going to be happy to go back to work here and to get all that stuff accomplished for us. And that means we can start at some point removing these and then putting in more food processing or adjacent stuff, because as you guys have pointed out, we haven't even bothered growing coffee yet, and we've got space for it. There's no reason why we couldn't do it. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, and I hope I remember this, but I'm going to take these trees away. Oh, these just got planted? Well, okay, well, guess what? Not demolish buildings, demolish resources. I'm just going to plant coffee things here because, you know, that's one of those things that would be a very, very easy well-being boost. I don't think it's a huge one, but, you know, you just got to keep our wits about us and remember stuff that we said we were going to do. How are we looking over here? Oh, good. Yeah, this is good progress here, folks. Very, very, very good stuff. Again, this might be technically too small, but we have the height here where I don't think it's going to be a problem. Just very, very relieving to see this, I guess, drainage thing that can flush out the bad water if something bad happens. Even if it doesn't, you know, we were prepared, and we did our best. We got a little bit more wood to bring in here, and then we'll put this dynamite in place. And then the moment this is ready to go, I'm turning this back on because I want to get at least something accomplished for the bad water discharge, because we're not going to be able to have beavers actually go down there because, you know, they're going to get infected. Which means it's honestly probably not a bad idea to go ahead and just remove this right now anyway and do one of those numbers so we can just not worry about it. Well, what's it? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, or whatever that thing is. Now we're doing a whole lot more processing of stuff, and it looks like we've actually got dead even here. So that's cool. Not taking anybody out of the hauling posts or anything like that. Still not full storage of water, which is, well, it's a good thing we still have the extra space. We'll just keep on pumping until we can't pump anymore. Now, injured beavers. I remember somebody left a comment asking if we had beds. We do. We have 4 beds that I can see right now. We probably don't have any more than that, but we'll go ahead and check. Oh, we have 5. Okay. One of those might be in the other district, though. And yes, that would be correct. We do have that. Who's injured here? Just 1. Okay. Well, you know what? It does us no harm to just go ahead and put another one of these medical beds in, and we'll just go ahead and make it 2. Now, it's nice to have the extra capacity before you need it. You know? Is there anywhere else I can pop one of these things? I guess once we have all of these other things taken care of, we don't need to worry about it, then I can just replace those. But for right now, this is fine. Look at all this. Look at all this. We're making it work, folks. Making it work. Making it work. These are deprioritized, right? Okay, good. I'm okay with having fewer builders. This is done. It's looking... I'm not going to say it's beautiful, but it's looking good. It's totally fine. Totally fine. I'm going to go ahead and say, you know what? Let's just take this out. We'll do one piece at a time. Johnny Cash style. And just leave this open. Everything else is perfectly fine. This is just about dry, but we got 6 days left, so we actually metered this out pretty well. I don't think there's any real room to complain. I will pause that deep water pump, though, because there's no deep water to pump. And, yeah, now I'm much more interested in getting this finished. Now that I've figured out, or remembered, rather, that I can just use the double platform to help us out here. Just get that ready to go. Come on. All right. I'm just going to go ahead and do it, even if I don't need to. The peace of mind is worth it to me to get this taken care of. Because now I'm much more interested in getting this worked on, finished, so on and so forth. I think that's going to be fine. But now I do worry a little bit that this, in the next 5 days, shocker, is not going to be complete, and we're going to get some bad water coming in here. So I'm going to have to modify this. I'm going to have to modify this so that we can have a sluice just generally in here somewhere. I think it probably is going to make the most sense to have it in the corner. I know. I know. Oh, you could have just done this the first time. Yeah, I should have. Very valid point. But if you put this in the very corner, then all that pressure is just going to get everything nasty out of here. Well, hopefully. Hopefully. You don't really need to be worried about it. And it is a one-way valve, so that's totally fine. Totally fine. Just make sure that this is set up correctly. I do want to close below contamination, say 1%. Because remember, if there's extra, it can just go off the side here. Not going to be a big deal. This needs to... Oh, this absolutely needs to be unchecked. Alright, close above contamination, let's say 1%. Just get that nice and done. So yeah, we're doing our best. We're doing our best. Which is about all we can do. I don't know why I keep looking at that. That's a done deal. That's taken care of. Just a little bit of water left here, but we have managed this just so not... Wait, hold on. We got more bad water. Oh. I keep forgetting this is a thing, just going incredibly slowly, but it is technically still getting some of this bad water, and this says... Well, now it says 0% contamination, but I guess the stuff in here, as evidenced by this little white bit, is still pretty contaminated. I really hope this works. I really hope this works right. Oh, this one says close below 2%. Well, I guess that doesn't really matter. Multi-stage filter thing. Yeah, it's fine. Not going to need to worry about it. Alright. Wow, I got a lot of gears. I've got enough metal. Well... Bet you can't guess what I'm going to do. Gonna build another one of these things. I told you we're going to have storage. We're going to have the capacity. That was never a question. Never a question. Coffee bush time, though. Yes. Yes, please. Plant those coffee bushes. Get this thing ready to go. And there you have it. 4 days. 4 days left. Have we made any headway on the canola oil? Not really. It doesn't seem like that's the case. So, yeah, we got 1,300 corn. We can't even use it fast enough. I'm just gonna say, you know what? Get rid of it. Get rid of it. The cassavas are fine. Fine like that. We'll leave those alone. Yeah, see, this is exactly why I wanted to make sure that we could use as much of this space as possible, because we're getting to the point where the crops are not quite sufficient. Not quite there. And honestly, we probably need to have more of these, yeah, we need to have more soybeans. How close are these? 94%? Alright, I'll just unplant. Honestly, I can unplant all of this. I'm just going to say unplant all of it, and we'll make it soybeans. No reason not to. No reason not to. How's our progress here? Okay. Not stellar, but we have this ready to go, except we don't. Wait a second. What do you mean you can't get required materials? I've got the dynamite. Well, we'll find out, I guess. I find that very hard to believe they can't get that. Is it stuck in this district? Okay. But what about, can I force import? I should be able to. I can never remember where, okay, there we go. Force import. There we go. I know it's not being held for anything here, but we have bad water. So if I turn one of these on, we should be able to make a little bit more. Just a little bit. Okay. Yeah, it seems we've lost most of our builders because I put all this stuff in. Oh yeah, we're absolutely chewing through we're chewing through our logs here, making the rest of our materials, but that's fine because we do need to actually have those. So that's important. Metal, we can afford to make some more investments in, and that's a thing that I guess we'll have to properly do next time. But I think I feel comfortable enough in our production of other stuff. I can go ahead and say sayonara to these things here. This log storage is probably fine. But yeah, the rest of this stuff, we really don't need it here. This is scrap. Yeah, that definitely doesn't need to be here. Scrap metal, metal, any of that. So the Torii gates will rebuild. Just go ahead and get this stuff on the ground because I know we love that so much. And this would be a decent place for us to put some well-being stuff, because I know that's a really popular thing we haven't done too much of. Good to know the mute button still works when I have to sneeze. But yeah, just put 3 of those right there on a platform, and then guess what can go on top? That's right. Iron Torii gate. Very nice there. Very nice there. And then, this probably isn't the best place for a breeding pod, but we'll get it figured out. How have we not had showers yet? Okay, alright, we can build those. We can build some showers. I am actually kind of shocked that we hadn't had those. So I'll just go ahead and put 3 of those there. Get this slightly reconfigured. Oh boy. I love those memory error pop-ups. Yeah, we're going to have to end this episode quick. Because if I lose all this because my computer blue screens after an hour and 5 minutes of recording, you might have to come bail me out of jail. So we're definitely, day 100, we're definitely going to end this pretty quick here. I just wanted to make sure we could do a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Let me get the rest of this coffee in place. Yeah, so like I said, this is a good opportunity for us to put in just a few more things. Like a coffee brewery would be a tremendous fit right here. Just because this isn't really a great place to connect things, but just get ahead of that. It does take 9 days to grow the plant and then 3 days to grow the coffee beans. So we'll just, tolerate the mess here. Oh, you know what we didn't do? We did not rebuild the demo version Torii gate. That is not going to fit there. Okay. Well, in the interest of just having it, even though this is an ugly way to do it, just pop that thing in there. That's fine. It's in the range of the housing, which is pretty much all that matters. Wow, we have the Labor Monument. And you know what? We could probably build a Flame of Unity if we really wanted to. But, whoa, hold on. Look at all this. Look at all this red here. And we have a Silly Billy. How'd that happen? You absolute buffoon. Come on, man. I forgot these guys were going to be able to make bad choices all by themselves. Hey, look, you're free. Get out of here. All right. See, this is what happens, folks. This is what happens. All right. I'm going to have to manually pause all this, and it's going to be a pain. All right. I got a couple more right there. And then, of course, that is a thing as well. All right, so that Silly Billy problem was solved. But the reason I paused was, look at this. Look at this. We're killing our crops. The bad news is there's not really any more water here. Not really any more water. We've pumped all the goodness out of it. So, yeah, that's a thing. I'm going to go ahead and say, pause all these. Every pump, because, let's be honest, we don't really need these anyway. And we gotta hope that this... Okay, there we go. There we go. It's getting fixed. The bad water pump will take care of it. But, oh no, is it going to kill the trees? Is it going to kill the trees? It doesn't seem like it's going to kill the trees. Anyway, it's the end of the drought. Got half a day left. So let's briefly recap what we got accomplished today, because I think we did a pretty good job. This is ready to go. That's very exciting stuff. I am very happy this got complete. I was really, really stressed out about this at the end of last episode, so that's good. We used all of our water, which, you know, is exactly the reason why you have that in the first place. We got this bit of industry moved up at least, and we're within 30 HP, which is about as good as I could have ever hoped for guessing. But knowing now that this is going to be inaccessible, I'm going to prevent tragedy, hopefully, by, getting that out of the way. And I'm just gonna levy it up. Just gonna levy it up. Build these two, put them on priority, so we don't have to worry about anybody getting splashed with nasty water if that fills up that high. Other stuff we did today. We fixed this bit. We're gonna check it again. Close above contamination, check. Close below contamination, check. This has been placed, so this is now for clean water. This will flow very nicely into there. We do have a mechanism to finish building this bad water discharge. I've got this ready to go, which we'll go ahead and dynamite. So that means when this is bad water, during the next bad tide, this should, keyword should, flow harmlessly off the side like this. And, maybe the beavers feel like finishing this. Yeah, I don't know. It's probably going to be a little bit of a disaster for at least some amount of time. But that's fine. And I feel like this has been very, very, very good. So, that's where we're going to leave it. I know it was frustrating to a lot of you to not have this series for a week. But it was some very, very much needed time off for my brain. And gave me a little bit more energy wanting to finish this playthrough out. So, appreciate your patience and understanding on that. And I'm glad you're here. Even those of you who think this was going poorly, I hope I've changed your mind with this episode a little bit. We got a lot of good stuff done. And I really do want to finish this. And by finish, I mean getting the final wonders and everything. So, to do that, it's still going to take a pretty good amount of time. But I feel a whole lot better about where we are. And absolutely cannot do without your support. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you. Beard Boosters especially. You already know. You make it possible. But it bears repeating. Literally cannot do it without all of your fantastic support. So, all of that being said, we do have additional Emperor Pelts tomorrow. This series on Thursday again, now that we're back in the groove on that. And sometime soon, TM, new computer stuff. Still waiting on a couple of parts, but boosters will get first access to all of that fun. Still trying to figure out if I can do a stream. Maybe not, but at the very least, there will be a video of some kind just to give you guys a little bit of fun behind the scenes on that. But that's all I got. We're going to pick this back up in cycle 15, day 1, next episode. Whatever it is you're doing with the rest of your day, stay safe, have fun, and we will see you in the next one. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.